The whole essence of Salesforce is a cloud-based solution to help to provide companies with always available, scalable, and kind of connecting customers on a one singular platform. And when Salesforce provides solution to connect all customers of a company to a one singular platform, so that the company will have the company will have 360-degree view of every data, every record of the customers, of their end users, of everybody on the platform, so that adequately they can be able to kind of have a report, do a data and analytics management that will make them to run a report that is insightful, that the company will be able to take actionable judgment that is not going to be wrong at the end of the day. So many things happen around data analytics management. You must have a very good data quality. That is when you can have a report that can really that can give insights. And that insight that is given must be actionable, in the sense that through the report, through the results of that report, your stakeholders, your company can take a decision, and that decision will be a good one that will increase productivity. If there's anything they need to take care of in the company, they will be able to take care of and put it in the right perspective. It's going to really give all the pictures and everything. So now, let this be in our consciousness, that all these things we have been doing right from the time of configuration and setup, all from the time of application, object management, and Lightning App Builder, all those stuff that we've been doing till we get to the collaboration. Now we're right at data and analytics management. All those things we're doing all this while is to ensure that we have good data quality, is to ensure that no data of our customer is missing. Everything, they are all available on a single platform provided by Salesforce cloud-based software. That is the whole essence. So that in less than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, someone can easily produce a report, dashboard. They can really guide the companies. They can really guide everyone toward, no, we have been so productive in our last marketing campaign. Everything is going on well with our company. Everybody is carrying out his own role or responsibility. If there is any correction that they need to make, they will make the correction at the end of the day. So data analytics management is is one of the core responsibility of you working as a Salesforce administrator. Apart from ensuring users management, apart from ensuring the platform security, apart from engaging with end users and to ensure that the platform is doing so well, another core responsibility that you have as a Salesforce administrator is to be able to analyze data. The kind of data you'll be analyzing is not the level of the one that the data analyst will be doing. No, I mean, you'll be able to successfully do a report of all the items, objects on your platform. to actually guide your company for them to really know, yes, they are doing so well, everything is fine and all that. And by so doing, you must be conversant with some tools, tools like data loader, tools like um, data import wizard, tools like data exports. All those tools will be discussed under data and analytics management. Then, and apart from that, you must be able to integrate formulas to add column, and that is what we call bucketing, to at least add column to your report. So many other things like that. So just know that it's not only when we're doing a kind of workflow rules, not when we're doing case assignment rules, lead assignment, and all those ones that will make use of criteria, you make use of formula, or when you're doing a validation rule. Right when you are even doing your report, there is a way you can integrate formula into your report that will help you to add additional column into your report. You can integrate a formula into your report and all those stuff. So data data analytics management is one of the key skills that you are expected to have. You are expected to equip yourself with to be able to manage successfully, help your company to run a lot of stuff in terms of managing their data. This is where you manage data for your company. This is where you do like kind of exporting data. This is when you import data from CSV files. This is where you do so many things that will really make sure that will help to guide your company that, okay, this money we have been spending on this while on a campaign, it has been a very good adventure. It's been a very good expenditure for us. Or the money we have been spending on leads, it's a good one. All those stuff will be taken care of under data analytics and management. What is the data management itself? Data management refers to the processes and strategies involved in organizing, importing, updating, transferring, mass deleting, exporting, and backup of data within Salesforce platform. Those are the processes involved and strategies. You start by organizing the data right from where you were adding all the necessary field, configuring field and everything. You are ensuring, making sure that your data are well organized. What about the time you are imposing validation rule to impose data quality within your system? Because if you don't use validation rule to guide against end users inputting wrongs or poor data into your platform, the result is going to the consequence will be waiting right at when you want to do data management. Because if you have poor data within your platform, it's going to disrupt the outcome of your report, whereby it will be bad if your company takes decision based on poor data quality or bias data on the platform. Because what do you use to run the report at the end of the day? It happened to be the data you've gotten from all your end users, from your customers, and all the rest. So if that data is bad, if that data is not good, then the kind of report you're going to produce with the poor data is not going to give the right judgment. It's not going to produce the right insight that your company can take an actionable step towards implementing. Because in the first place, the data that has given them that result in terms of the report is a bad one entirely. So it's very, very important. That is why when you engage in data management, the first thing you start doing is organizing. You make sure that even if before you import any CSV file into Salesforce platform, you ensure that that file is okay. You ensure data quality. You ensure that, okay, this data, if there's anything you need to take off, you need to yank off from it, you yank it off to make sure that everything is working and everything is fine. So this ensure that data accuracy, consistency, accessibility throughout the Salesforce platform. Now you now know the importance of all those things we were doing that time when we're ensuring that if the date on a project must not, if the end date of a project must not be the date in the past, we use validation rule to impose that if any, but let's say, but either advantageously or inadvertently, if your end users is trying to input a record or enter a date that is in the past into your platform, then they should not be able to save that record. That is one of the key things. And at the same time, you want to know why your company is losing out on a project. After a customer has shown an interest in giving you a contract, giving you a project, and we notice that at the end of the day, out of the pick list we have on the project, we have canceled there. One of your prospects canceled a project. And the reason for canceling that project is not stated. How are you going to know that next time this is a kind of proactive step you're going to take? This is a kind of preventive measure you need to put in place that next time you will not lose that contract or project. Somebody will not cancel that project. What do you do to impose data quality or to make sure that you have the right information about why a particular project is canceled within your platform? Then what you need to do, this is when you're going to employ the tool called validation rule. Validation rule will help you to say, okay, if any project is canceled, if the stage of a project is canceled or status of that project is showing cancelled, then the reason for the cancellation must be stated before the records will be saved on your platform. You use validation rule to do that. Those are the application, those are the things you can use validation rule to achieve. Now, when you do all those things, what do? The next thing is reporting. Reporting involves the creation and customization of virtual representation, that is report of Salesforce data. The report is where you virtualize whatever form of data. You process it, you use a report builder, will give you, okay, it might be in form of a tabular report, it might be in form of summary report, it might be in form of a joined report, and it might be in form of matrix report. Those are the 4 or 5 types of reports that we have in Salesforce under data management. The first one is summary report. Tabular report is just in form of table. It's a table, but you can relate with it. What this is saying on this column, you have it in table, you have it in column and a row. That is a tabular. Then you have summary report, you have matrix report, you have a joined report. That means you can combine like contacts, accounts, and opportunity, different objects to make just one report. And when you are doing that under joint report, you make use of block. That's what we call block. That means each of the reports, each of the objects on the report, we have different block that represent each of different objects you combine to make that report. That's why they name it joint, as in bringing two different objects together to make it one as a report. Now, there is also a part of sharing role in running a report. Sharing refers to the model and setting that control access to Salesforce record and data. You know, when we were doing security configuration and setup, that was where we discussed organizational-wide defaults. And apart from that, we use organizational-wide default to restrict. That is the baseline of restriction you can impose, that is being imposed on Salesforce platform. It can be in form of public read, write, and transfer. If it is the case of, if you are dealing with case objects, if you are dealing with a lead, then apart from that, you can make it public read and write. Or another one is public read only. Then the last one is private. If it is private, only you that happen to be the owner of that record will be able to run report on it, or the people that are above you in the role hierarchy. The role hierarchy has to do with data accessibility, that people between the subordinate and the superior, quote or unquote, because it doesn't follow the normal traditional organization pyramid that we're used to. The normal one, that you have a president of a company at the top of the pyramid, followed by directors under them. Under directors, you have managers. You have managers. Under managers, you have sales reps and all the rest. So the role hierarchy in Salesforce is all about data sharing, data accessibility, who see what and what you can do with what you see. Now, in an organization, people at the lowest level of the organization, let's say the sales rep, they will be able to access their own record. And the people above them, let's say their supervisor or sales manager, will be able to see the record of their subordinates that happen to be the sales rep. They will be able to access the record. They can run the report on the record of that the people that report to them. You know, when you have an organization that is a structure whereby people report to their superior, and that superior will also have his own superior, and that superior will also have another superior pop up until get to the final stage of it, whereby you now have the president or the CEO of the company is going to have access to all the record that's been managed by every other person in that organization. That is just it in that way. Now, what do? Use sharing rules to do. Any record that sharing rule permits you to have access to, you'll be able to access it without any problem, and you'll be able to have access to the report. So there is sharing, refer to the model and setting that control access to Salesforce record and data. Explanation simply means determine who can view, edit, delete specific record, as is crucial for data security and collaboration. Organizational-wide default restricts to an extent what somebody can do with the data. You can view, transfer, edit, public read, write, transfer, or private or public read only. If it is public read only, that means any other person, apart from the owner of that record, will only be able to read the record. They will not be able to edit. They will not be able to delete. They will not be able to do it more than just to view it. So it also imparts, if you are having a record, a report on a record that you only have view access to. You will only be able to view the report coming from that particular record that you can only view. But if you have a deleted access to it, then you also have the level of accessibility to the report coming from the same object. There are other ways of sharing. We have manual sharing. We have owner-based sharing. We have criteria-based sharing. The manual sharing simply means the owner of that report the owner of the record share it with Mr. A. If a Mr. A and Mr. B, they are sales rep within a company, both of them, Mr. A is a sales rep, Mr. B is a sales rep. They cannot see each other's record, but Mr. A can now decide to use manual sharing to share the record with another Mr. B. I will demonstrate something to you when we get to the playground on our project. I will show you what will happen. Other users on our platform like Jackrich, what is able to do with our project object. That will make us to understand more deeper about it. Then after you have done your reporting, there is another visualization tool called dashboard. Dashboard are dynamic visual display of Salesforce data, often comparing charts, graphs, and metrics. Dashboard offer a glance insight, helping users to monitor key performance indicators and trends. Now, let me just explain this. We are all, one way or the other, in our basic education years in those days, right from secondary school. We have so many things about bar charts, pie charts, and all the rest. Those are the kind of tools they are referring to about dashboard. The dashboard of a thing, you know, it's just like a dashboard of a car. When you look at it, you can know the gauge of your fuel. From it, you can know that there is a tire problem. You need to go and inflate your tire. You need to go and check your engine. If there's engine problem, you need to go on. So dashboard will show you whatever is happening at a particular time. You can be able to virtualize it. That's the same thing that happened on the dashboard of our car. By the time it's showing one red light or the other engine icon, if it's showing tire, if it's so many things, you'll be able to know right from that. And you, as even if you're an engineer, if you're not an engineer, if you're not a mechanical engineer, or you don't have but it's been simplified in such a way that you should be able to relate with it at the end of the day, and you make meaning out of it. So when you, and in a like manner too, dashboard in Salesforce will give you the kind of, will make it possible at a glance insights, helping users like stakeholders, like end users to monitor performance. You know, key performance KPI indicators and trend. We'll be able to see and virtualize and relate with it. The one that is going up, maybe it's the bar chart you're using, or Instagram that you're using, or pie chart that you're using, or scatter graph, whichever one you use at the end of the day, or you use gauge. One will be able to relate with what you do at the end of the day when you factualize your data. So any report that you run in Salesforce, the first thing you run report. You cannot have a dashboard without a report, because dashboard build on a report. Dashboard, a report give birth to dashboard in Salesforce. You first of all do the report. If it is a metrics report, if it is a summary report, after you've done it, then now you take it further by now making a dashboard out of your report. Take note of that. First of all, you run a report that will show all the data and everything. One can relate with it. And you want people to relate with it further, that any other ordinary person will be able to understand the part of the company or business that is not doing so well. Then you introduce a dashboard When you introduce the dashboard now, it will help you to virtualize the report, maybe graphically, maybe by charts that will give you the true outlook of what is happening within your organization. Data model is the way you store and structure your Salesforce data. That is it. When you hear anything about data modeling, it simply means the way you store and structure your data in Salesforce. Why it is important to think through your data model before building in Salesforce. You must be able to think ahead. You must be able to know the implication of what you're trying to do. And it's always very good for you to think ahead through data model before building in Salesforce. You don't just build something. You know, what we did when we're building, configuring our project objects, we impose validation rule to make so many validation rules. We're able to work on three to four validation rules. All those things we were doing, we were ensuring that by the time we're going to run our report, it's going to come out clean. It's going to be a kind of report that would produce insights, actionable one at that. That was the reason. So data model before building in Salesforce, you first of all, data model will help you to know that how it's going to impact users' experience, how it's going to impact reporting, impact loading data, impact the ability to automate key business processes. Those are the things. Then data management encompasses acquiring, validating, storing, protecting, because whatever you store, you must protect it, and processing data to ensure what? The accuracy and security of information. Data management includes all aspects of data handling from acquisition to disposal. Poor data management can lead to inaccurate decision making that the impact can be destructive, can even make a company, a whole organization to go bankrupt. If they are taking decisions on inaccurate data, it can be a disaster. It can make them to lose opportunity, and it can also make organizations to waste a lot of resources, because by the time they realize what they are doing or they are taking action on is wrong, they will need to reverse it. After, they might have spent a lot of money, depending how big the company is. After, they might have wasted money on research. They discover later that, oh, it was because of poor data that we're having this issue. You know, that's not a good one. Good data management practices can help organizations to save time, money, while ensuring that data is accessible, accurate, reliable, secure, and actionable. Look at the thing that good data management can help organizations to achieve. It can help organizations to save time, money, while ensuring data is accessible, accurate, reliable, secure, and actionable. The essence of all this reporting and everything is to make sure that the data you're getting, the report can give you, is actionable, that your company can actually take a decision based on the report, based on the data they have at their disposal. That brings about data analytics that turns unstructured data. You know, there's this things about structural query language, or data warehousing, or data lake, and all the rest. The data lake is where you have so much data, they are not structured. That means you need somebody that can actually clean the data, that will be able to extract, load, and transform the data, so that at the end of the day, one can make informed judgments and actionable decision based on what they have on that data. And that is why they are saying that data is the oil of the modern world asset. Is the oil. Is the kind of asset that organization have. They know how they can make good use of it. It will help them to transform and make them to have competitive edge and make them productive. You collect the data, you find that data, then the dynamic resources to identify the past trend. All these things that we're hearing about GPT charts, AI, and all the rest, is still based on historical data. It's still based on the data that is being the program that AI to learn. And when it learn that data, it can now produce like normal human being and generate a content like the way human being can. When we take a pen, we write something, we produce, that's why they call it generative kind of artificial intelligence. Whatever you are saying, that's AI happen to be data, historical data they train that AI on to kind of produce result at the end of the day. And one thing I want to tell you, if the data that they use to train that AI is poor, is bad, then the AI can make a kind of bias output, a result that can be terrible. And that bias can come as a result of gender. It can become as a result of race. It can happen because of color, so that's why they make sure they have a diverse view of all the data to ensure that whoever is helping us with this data is not algorithm and whatever they put in place, is not having a bias toward a particular race or particular gender or sexual orientation of some people and all the rest. So data is very, very powerful. It's a powerful tool in this modern world. And like dashboard report, to create a solid strategic vision, you collect and refine data from defined and dynamic data source to identify past trend, to forecast the future. That is the essence, that you can forecast the future based on the trend they observe on the report and say, okay, this is predictive kind of. They can say, okay, because of this trend, this is what future will be. And then they can anticipate growth.
Right, that's a wrap up for today's video. I hope you have picked up some valuable insights and actionable tips in Salesforce ecosystem. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumb up. If you found it helpful, I'm Asikola Oshirikan and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.